So today we'll be talking about Louis XVI's reaction to the revolution. Louis XVI was the reigning monarch in France at the time of the revolution. For the first part of his reign, he spent most of his time following Enlightenment ideas. However, these were not always successful. This is the Palace of Versailles. Its lavish architecture shows the lavish spending of Louis XVI and his family. At this time in 1789, France was in debt, not just because of the lavish spending, but also due to the American War of Independence and the 7 Years' War that France had taken part in. So Louis XVI appointed Jacques Necker as the Director General of France for finance. Necker was responsible for bringing out the country out of this crisis. Necker suggested to Louis XVI, rather urged him to call upon the Estates General. So what was the Estates General? The Estates General was a medieval French Congress, which is divided into 3 estates. The first estate, the clergy, the second estate, the nobility, and the third estate, the rest of France. Traditionally speaking, these 3 states had an equal right to vote. But this time around, the third estate asked that it should be given a right to vote relative to its size. So when the States General was called upon, this demand was pertinently put forward. However, it was rejected. This caused the third estate to break away and to take the tennis court oath. What was the tennis court oath? In 1789, the States General formed the National Assembly and assembled in King Louis XVI's indoor tennis court. And they demanded that their demands be met and that they will not disperse till France is granted a new constitution. Louis XVI grudgingly had to give in to these demands. He even urged the nobility and the clergy to join the third estate. However, Louis XVI took some steps which removed him from the favor of the people. He removed Necker from his position, which was not a sensible decision because Necker was popular throughout France. Furthermore, people's grievances were already increasing due to the other financial crisis present in the country. A scramble for arms began. On July 14, 1789, the storming of the Bastille took place. The Bastille was the most infamous French prison. It was symbolic not just for the arms that were taken, but because it represented the fall of the ancient regime. The king was alarmed by the violence, and he backed down for the time being. Paris came under the control of those leading the state's third estate, particularly Lafayette and Jean Séville. At this time, the king even wrote to Paris and accepted the people's demands, and wore the tricolour cockade and the chants of Vive de la Nation, long live the nation. However, at this time, the king was also in touch with imperial dynasties throughout Europe, which would later cause problems for him. The National Assembly came forth in 1789 with the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen. As you can see from this declaration, one major point was put forward towards sovereignty. Now everyone in France was an equal Frenchman, and the ancient regime's divine right to rule was now being abolished. On October 5, 1789, the food crisis was growing in the country. French women took up arms, and a mob marched to Versailles to drag the king out. King Louis XVI had no choice but to accept the demands of the people, and he authorized and endorsed the Declaration and the August Decrees. It is important to note here, in terms of Louis XVI's personality, that although he accepted his monarchical responsibility and duty towards the people, he also believed in his divine right to rule. He would only reluctantly accept the people's demands, and this, in the longer scheme of things, made him a less rather than a more popular figure. It is also important to see that the French people were more so against the nobility and the clergy rather than the king himself, as is reflected in the civil constitution of the clergy, in which, as you can see, they removed the right for the Catholic Church to be selecting the clergy for France, and rather replaced it with elected clergy. In June 1791, the flight to Valence occurred. King Louis XVI and his family tried to escape France to the Austrian border. However, they were caught and brought back in disgrace. After this, King Louis had lost favor in the eyes of the French people. Although the constitution that came forth maintained the constitutional monarchy, there was soon a constitutional crisis. The National Convention came to power. They abolished the monarchy and introduced and declared the French Republic. In 1793, King Louis was put to trial, and he was condemned to death for working against the security and safety of the people of France. It was a very close vote, and it showed the current situation of politics in France. The extremist revolutionaries had won, and being led by Robespierre, were going to be taking power after the ancient regime. On 21st January 1793, King Louis XVI, who was now simply known as Citizen Louis, was put to the guillotine, and that was the end of the French monarchy, for now. So after this, it's important for you to look back and study on this topic, and to attempt the Cambridge Assessment question, which discusses why was Louis XVI executed in 1793.